So we're like standing there, and he goes around the corner, and he never came back.
How about a mobile escape room in a box where you sign up. I want to do an escape room at my house. So they come, they set up an escape room in your house. You pick a room like, okay, we're going to do it in the living room.
Oh.
And to get out of the room, whatever it is, they set up little puzzles and things in the room. You have to open up, a puzzle box or combination locks on boxes that they set up around the room to get different parts and, little props that they set up.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a handful of questions that they ask on the survey. Is there a fireplace in the room? Is there this?
Yeah.
Is there that?
Yeah.
There are escape room board games out there.
Yeah.
And video games, but board games are more like, where they come with little things that little tasks you can do to.
So this idea,
and when you complete all the challenges, you've escaped the room. You're not physically like unlocking the door.
It's the honor system.
Yeah.
And so this idea plays right onto that idea, which is what you'd initially said, which was mobile escape rooms. And that is where you've got your friends on a mobile app with you, and it's a virtual escape room.
Yeah.
And you have to work out, and I would say it would have to be very difficult.
Right.
Intentionally really difficult.
Sure.
With really obscure clues, because you can Google anything, you can AI anything, and that might be quite fun, where you get your friends, and maybe it takes weeks to complete.
Right. I mean, the other part of that I had thought of for a mobile escape room was, what if it was, how, so we go to these crazy kids' birthday parties all over the place, and they pull up with these video game vans now, these big, giant, it's like a food truck.
Yes, I have seen that.
And you go inside and you can play on the latest consoles and whatever, and the kids can do multiplayer games and whatever.
Gosh, they almost
it's like an arcade.
I know, it's really cool.
In your driveway, right?
Yeah.
But what about just like that, where it's an escape room?
Escape room,
just, it's like a giant RV basically.
Yeah.
And you have to get out.
A phone app that samples the color, texture, or shape of something you pointed at could be useful for artists, modelers, fashion designers, photographers. I think an app sort of exists like this, but I think it's only for recording textures.
Okay.
And the original idea was a pen.
Isn't this a camera? What
does it do? I think it samples things. Like it would store potentially 3D information about a texture, or it would record the positioning of a composition and give you the ratios of a composition or something, the light and dark, balance and contrast.
A reverse food truck. Which
you bring your food out to
No. Well, yes, but the truck comes around, picks up perishables for food banks. So it's just it's similar to how the Big Brothers Big Sisters goes around and does the clothing drives or whatever.
Right.
But then they're just feeding savers or whatever. But or it comes around and you can bring out some canned goods and feel good about the fact that you're donating to the local food banks.
Right. And that's I love all of those ideas, anything that is pushing food waste recovery. I think there does exist things like this, but it's not in the sense of a truck that drives up and down. Yeah, it's almost like Savers. They have drop-off points.
Oh, yeah. So my daughters and Girl Scouts, they just did a big food drive. They take it to our local food pantry for our town.
Right, where it's centralized.
Yeah.
You do bring up a good point, and I actually feel the same way about picking up electronic junk, because I feel like people would then be more likely to put stuff out on the curb. And if someone comes along and picks up some food, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want it to go to people who need it. On that point, those little free libraries, we see people who put canned food.
That's interesting.
Which
that's because you live more of an urban environment.
A massage parlor only for tickles, scratches, and ASMR. Want a quick professional quality feet tickle? A slow, gentle back scratch? I mean, I don't know if you would go there or if they would come to you. I think either one.
Yeah.
But I think it's for the non-massage things. And I think we've talked about an idea that was sort of related to this before, where it's just if you just want something unusual, like ASMR, you just want to lay there and have someone whisper sweet nothings to you, and maybe while scratching your head, because that's the tactile part too, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like back scratching, feet tickling. I once had someone tickle my feet very gently, and it was awesome. And I never thought that would be awesome, but it really was. And I thought maybe there are services that do this. I have no idea, but I feel like I would love that.
I know something more about you there that I didn't want
I
to
don't
know.
have a foot fetish or anything. It was just like, wow, this is an unusual. Like I thought I couldn't stand it. But if you just sort of grin and bear it for a while, your body adapts and acclimates to it. And then it's like, oh, this is an interesting sensation.
Yeah. In a similar vein, my next one I have is an ASMR hotline.
How are we aligning our...
I don't know.
Okay.
Where you call up and get whispered to. So you call up, hello, hi.
Well, okay, but let me cut you off at the pass here.
Yeah. But it's personal. It's one-on-one.
It is personal, but there's a massive problem with the quality of a phone call that is mono versus the true ASMR you get from high-end.
Oh, yeah, but you put your AirPods in or whatever. And
yeah, because
stereo.
I don't believe that phone quality is any better than it used to be, right? Even digital quality, it's still only,
well, yeah,
what is it?
if it's over a
11
cellular network,
kilohertz
it
or
still
something?
sucks, yeah.
Or 20, maybe it's 22 now.
The whole Wi-Fi calling thing helps in certain regards. But yeah, I mean, we could also do it VoIP-wise, and then you could control the bit rate. So it could be a mobile app that
you can
connects
control,
you to
and then
people,
it
like
would be
Discord,
right,
or whatever.
And also, wouldn't that also play into the idea that you could have it personalized ASMR?
That's what I was saying.
Is
It's
that-
personal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's personal.
So personal.
So you
they
could maybe choose your shtick that you like.
Maybe
to,
you send them beforehand your
yeah,
info,
or you
and then they
choose a
can use
person
it.
by like OnlyFans, right? You choose
No,
somebody
I actually love this because it
by
also
what
gives
they
people
are
work.
specific to.
It gives people work.
Yeah.
I mean, you could almost do this on Fiverr. Like I do
Yeah.
personalized
Which
ASMR
I'm sure people
services. They probably do, yeah.
And,
send me your name and what you do, what
Yes.
you want me to talk to you about, and
Right.
it's almost therapeutic. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
An app that lets you chat with people around you and or in a specific zone. For example, how long is the line at the restaurant near me?
Yeah.
Is the gym near me busy? Is there a nearby restroom that someone could let me use like right now? I'm so sorry, I'm pregnant and I have to go right now.
Right.
And if someone happens to be at work and they're monitoring the app, they'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. You're like, 50 yards away. Come in here. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Like, is there like a little help app? And I actually wrote here, it's almost like Yelp crossed with Reddit chat, but temporary and by micro location. So it's super, super local.
Right.
Literally on the same subway platform as you, maybe the same subway station, where someone is just like, I just lost my wedding ring. It looks like this. Is anyone on this app near me?
Yeah. I see that, and I've talked about this before, like people that are at Disney World.
Same thing. Yeah,
where
exactly.
That happens a lot. Like, hey, anybody know where I can go to get a hot dog right now in Magic Kingdom?
Where you don't want to hike a mile to go and get, yeah, exactly right.
Freak someone out. A service that will follow someone around and freak them out all day in various ways.
Like, not now, Kato.
Just something where it's like, is this person following me? And then maybe it's a different person that like later in the day puts something on your car that's weird. Just these things to freak people out. Like,
almost like a gag gift, but you could really freak someone out like that.
It's a gag thing. And then you reveal it at like, the end of the day or whatever. That.
Oh man, but you have to have. I almost see that as being a service where that individual who is hired has a helper who can film it, because otherwise you're missing. I mean, it's like camera.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will be.
And you might get shot.
But then at least they get to see what they look like.
Yeah.
Well, you're like, why? What are you doing, dude?
I just think it's a funny
I think it's
idea.
awesome.
A fake history tour where you lead a guided tour around your town, reciting ridiculous made-up facts about places and landmarks.
What?
Yeah. So like if we're walking through and there's a statue, it gets a completely made-up story about that statue. That statue commemorates the time that Bob Simmons ate 32 fudgicles on the lawn of the White House.
I like that a lot, actually. That's pretty funny.
These are just things to uplift the people.
Yeah. It's funny. Years ago when I was in high school, I went to a mall. It was like a Sunday morning.
Did you have a rickshaw?
No, there was nobody there. And we're hanging around just sort of just chilling. And this guy walked up to us and said, hey, can I ask you guys, would you like to come and see something about, he was like a salesman. And we were like, don't we look like high school students? Like, what? I mean, okay, whatever. We don't want to be mean. We don't want to be rude. And he seemed like he was sort of like not sure about it himself. So we were like, all right, maybe it's a Sunday morning. He's kind of getting his feet wet. Let's help this guy. Okay, we'll follow you. So we follow him down this thing, and we stand there. And he's like, all right, so I just wanted to explain. In fact, if you guys can just stand here, I was going to actually set up this thing for you because I'm trying to like learn the ropes on this thing. And we were like, okay, whatever. So we were like standing there, and he goes around the corner, and we're like, this is
Comes
weird.
back naked.
And he never came back.
I love it. Wait, that's kind of like my freak somebody out service.
Yeah.
I like this.
And then I look over at about, 200 yards away on the lower level of the mall. I see him, and he's just like pointing at us, laughing his ass off.
That guy's my hero.
And I'm just like, I just look at her and says, he's over there. And she's like, what? Oh, okay. That was weird.
These are just things to uplift the people.